What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing our coverage on Colin Trevorrow's cancelled Star Wars Episode 9. We recently got the entire leaked script for this Episode 9 known as Duel of Fates, as well as various concept art that we broke down yesterday from Episode 9, including stuff like the rebellion on Coruscant, Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost catching Kylo Ren's lightsaber, Rey wielding a hybrid of a double-bladed lightsaber against Kylo Ren, as well as stormtroopers and more. But the concept art that we'll be discussing today is actually what I think by far to be the most intriguing, and a part of the Star Wars Episode 9 original script that I found to be the most compelling of anything. To start it out though, we have to talk a little bit about the script. This character that we'll be discussing today, whose concept art I will show here, is known as Tor Vallum, described as sort of a Lovecraftian character and an ancient dark side entity that would become Kylo Ren's master, but also holds so much more significance in the history of the Star Wars mythos than simply being a player now. He's somebody that many people have even said were intended to replace Darth Plagueis in the old continuity, at least to some extent. In the original take of Duel of Fates, Kylo Ren was again going to visit Darth Vader's castle in an attempt to find knowledge, but instead of a wayfinder, he was looking for a holocron that he would in fact find, as the Force Ghost of his uncle, Luke, taunted him all along the way. Kylo Ren would discover this ancient holocron, learning that it had actually been constructed by Palpatine for Darth Vader, and that the holocron was made as another part of the contingency plan if Palpatine were to be killed by Luke Skywalker, with the Dark Lord specifically constructing this holocron for Darth Vader to inherit, believing that Darth Vader would never turn back to the light side of the Force and would inherit the Empire after Palpatine's fall, and after his death, believing that one of them would at least survive the encounter with the newly formed Jedi, and if it were Darth Vader, this holocron was made as a contingency for the Sith apprentice to become the Sith Master. Kylo Ren would open the holocron, discovering a message for Darth Vader, again from Palpatine, explaining that Palpatine had an ancient Sith Master entity known as Tor Vallum, prompting Darth Vader to seek out this Tor Vallum, believing that this is the only way he could grow powerful enough to defeat Luke Skywalker, as Vallum would show him ancient methods of the dark side of the Force long lost, and methods that Tor Vallum had taught Darth Sidious in return. It is implied that Tor Vallum was a mentor that Darth Sidious took after Darth Plagueis' death, and even after the rise of the Galactic Empire, as this was going to be the source of the dark side of the Force that was calling Palpatine to the unknown regions of space, another mentor, and a being similar to that of Snoke, leading into the idea that there are these massively powerful Force entities that lie in the unknown regions of space, and an aspect of Star Wars that has been little explored, but one that was going to be talked about in Star Wars Episode 9, bringing back entities like the Mortis gods, again Snoke, and now this Tor Vallum. These entities though are not gods, as it was going to be Kylo Ren's ultimate goal in the Duel of Fates to become like one of the gods of Mortis, and become a Force entity more than simply a Force wielder, with Kylo Ren learning from the holocron that this dark side master Tor Vallum would be the first step to becoming one of the gods of Mortis himself. Unfortunately for Kylo Ren though, the holocron within his possession would explode, damaging his face, with Luke Skywalker again mocking his former apprentice, telling him that even if he successfully found this Tor Vallum, all he would find was pain, suffering, and the dark side. Nonetheless, Kylo Ren goes out to find this Tor Vallum, wanting to ultimately fulfill what his grandfather could not, and learning secrets of the Sith that could help him destroy the newfound Jedi in Rey, just as Darth Vader was meant to destroy the newfound Jedi in Luke. It's at this point in time where Kylo Ren comes to the conclusion that Darth Vader was weak and made a massive mistake, which again leads us into the biggest difference between Kylo Ren and the Duel of Fates from the Rise of Skywalker. It's very clear in the Duel of Fates that Kylo Ren is the main antagonist, and is meant to be the main antagonist of this final episode. Tor Vallum is a stepping stone, he's not the main villain. Kylo Ren is very much the villain of Duel of Fates. Anyway, in response to this, and discovering that it was love that made Darth Vader weak, Kylo Ren ultimately concludes that he must destroy Darth Vader's helmet, and must become something new and more powerful than his grandfather, throwing his helmet off of a balcony as it shatters into a million pieces. Kylo Ren then enters his TIE fighter and ventures to a planet similar to that of Exegol, of course in the unknown regions of space, here where he finds Tor Vallum. The planet is apparently known as Remnicor. Similar to what we saw in The Rise of Skywalker from Exegol, Kylo Ren enters a stone fortress seeking this Tor Vallum. Once he enters the fortress, he sees the remnants of an old battle, a battle between ancient Jedi and ancient Sith, one that was fought centuries ago. In the script apparently, this is set as a reminder that when the Jedi die, they are able to pass into the Force and become one with it, while on the other hand, death is the final frontier for the Sith. It is of course revealed that Kylo Ren has entered into a Force Nexus, a place exceptionally strong with the powers and forces of the dark side of the Force, as Kylo Ren enters another chamber full of broken down starships. Attached to several of these starships is Tor Vallum. Tor Vallum is described as Lovecraftian, as we can see in the concept art, and 7,000 years old, with his muscles pulled tight. By the concept art, it appears to me at least as if Tor Vallum was supposed to be a Zepho that we learned quite a little bit about in Jedi Fallen Order, and the species that many people have speculated, myself included, to be the original founders of the Sith. Tor Vallum looks slightly different from a Zepho, but he could be a more advanced version of this race. The Zepho were an ancient sentient species native to the planet of Zepho. Many Zepho could wield the Force, which they referred to as the Life Wind, and those that did wield the Force became known as sages. 3 or more of the esteemed sages, Ilram, Kujet, and Mictrul, were buried in elaborate tombs, both on Zepho as well as the dark side world of Dathomir, Darth Maul's home planet. Though the Zepho originated as a peaceful culture, over time they became more and more corrupt, falling to the dark side of the Force. In the years before the Jedi Purge, Jedi Master Eno became fascinated with the near-extinct Zepho. In a Force vision, the Jedi Padawan Cal Kestis was spoken to by a Zepho, who claimed to be leading the remnants of their species into the great unknown. Again, it is believed that Tor Vallum is one of the last members of this species known as the Zepho, and one of the species that ultimately fell to the dark side of the Force, and perhaps created the Sith. Tor Vallum though speaks with Kylo Ren, telling him that he is not a Sith, but that he has played a major role in their history, being the master of many former Siths such as Darth Sidious himself. Vallum is not a Sith, but again, he is the holder of arcane dark side knowledge, and many Sith have sought him out. Kylo Ren even asks him if he knew of Palpatine's first master in Darth Plagueis, this making it clear that Darth Plagueis was in fact a player in Star Wars canon still, and was still meant to be Palpatine's master, simply that Tor Vallum took over the training of Sidious after Plagueis' passing. But Tor Vallum makes it clear that he never taught a Darth Plagueis, saying that the name means nothing to him. Tor Vallum even goes on to mock the ideology of the Sith, calling them unrepentant and remorseless, and telling Kylo Ren that you are haunted by the past of your very existence. Still though, Tor Vallum says that he will teach Kylo Ren the ways of the dark side. Again, creatures like this to me in Star Wars are really interesting. Tor Vallum is in no way the main villain of Duel of Fates or this original version of Episode 9, but he is an ancient entity similar to that of Snoke, an entity also like the Bendu. It seems as if Tor Vallum is sort of the anti-Yoda here. Moving on, the first ability that Tor Vallum teaches Kylo Ren is an ability to drain the living force from being, as it's described as sort of vampiric in nature. Tor Vallum and Kylo Ren train with the ability for some time, with Kylo Ren using this ability to drain the power from creatures native to the planet. Eventually, Tor Vallum prompts Kylo Ren to enter a dark side cave, a place that he calls the strongest dark side energy on a planet filled with dark side energies. In the cave, Kylo Ren is confronted by a vision of his grandfather Darth Vader, as the two engage in a brutal lightsaber duel. In the end though, Kylo Ren is defeated by his grandfather within the vision, infuriated by the fact that he is still not more powerful than Vader. Exiting the cave, he demands Tor Vallum show him the abilities that will allow him to become a god of Mortis. However, Tor Vallum declines, telling Kylo Ren he is not ready. In a fit of anger though, Kylo Ren uses his newfound power to drain the living force from Tor Vallum himself, killing the ancient enemy and teacher of the Sith, as this is the last we hear from Tor Vallum in the story. Again, as I said, I love the idea that Tor Vallum is an ancient Zepho, and perhaps one of the first Zepho that fell to the dark side, and instead of becoming a being that was hell-bent on controlling or destroying the galaxy, he simply became a teacher for other ancient dark side orders, and even more modern ones such as the Sith. I love how Tor Vallum talks about the Sith, calling them unrepentant and remorseless, showing us that the dark side is a pathway to many different cults, some that hold a deeper respect for it than others. This is the part of Duel of Fates that I absolutely love the best, and I feel like it absolutely widens the Star Wars mythos and universe. But again, as I've said before, I'm ultimately pretty satisfied with the Rise of Skywalker and what we got. But what are your thoughts on this character Tor Vallum, the ancient teacher of Darth Sidious and other Sith? And would you like to see Tor Vallum in Star Wars Episode 9? If we could get this video to 4,000 likes, that would help the channel out a great deal. Thank you guys so much. As always, I appreciate every single viewer that I have. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.